The box itself has become a mystery novel. Hey everyone, Fina here from Fina Reads. Today with a new traveling book box video. This one was organized by Stacey and Jake. Jake from the Bookish Drummer, Stacey his girlfriend. And I'm telling you, I'm excited to see what's in here. And I'm not just saying that because it's a book box, but this is a special box. This box can only be epic. You know that a box is epic when the box itself immerses itself so much into the topic of the books that it is carrying that it becomes a mystery itself by, creating its own mystery story. So what am I saying here? Clearly the box is here, and as you probably already know, there are a lot of mystery, thriller, horror type books in here, so I'm really excited to see that. But the reason why the box itself became a mystery story is because it disappeared on us. We received a USPS message saying your box is disposed. We basically got a ransom note for our box, and then we started to investigate to figure out what happened with this box. Why did it get disposed? We've never seen a message like that, and Jake works for the postal service. He even was sitting there like, I have no idea what's happening here. So we put our best, looking glasses and Sherlock Holmes hats together, and, well, Jake figured it out with the help of his colleagues at the post office, that obviously this book box decided it was bored and exploded in the middle of the way from Kate to Ursi. And the box arrived empty, like destroyed and ripped in pieces, bloodied with murder. You now might be wondering why I still have a box in front of me, and that is thanks to the amazing people at USPS who actually looked for the books because they had to be somewhere, right? They cannot just disappear, vanish in thin air, and they found 9 of them. And if I recall that correctly, there were 15 in here when Kate sent it off. I mean, besides us having the wildest theories on, toxic waste dumped on it, exploded in a big, epic smoke thingy. We also had wild theories on, what the books might look like as I'm opening them now. So this is going to be a double surprise. One, on which books are even in there. It feels basic now. The book box cannot be this basic anymore. We now need a soap opera version of the next book box again to make it this entertaining. But yeah, it's going to also be a surprise to see what the condition of the books are, because if box exploded and books randomly found somewhere, yeah. Enough of the preamble. I need to know what is in here now. So I'm starting to open this one up here. All right, they even put some buffer material in here, and more buffer material, and more buffer material. There have to be books somewhere in this box, I guess. Okay, let's see what we have in here. Okay, book number 1 actually looks still pretty good. Just has a bit dinged up edges, but that could have been normal use as well. What One Wouldn't Do by Scott J. Moses. I've never heard of that, but that cover is pretty cool. Dark fiction. Oh, is it short stories? Here's where the books have suffered a little bit. This is short stories. Okay, so this is a horror short story collection. This goes on the maybe pile just because of the cover. Okay, the next one definitely has a little wear. Dead Woman Scorned. The Patience of a Dead Man. Oh, that's a book 2. Can you read this book 2 without it being a book 1? That goes on the yes pile for now. Ooh, I think we have another victim of our crime, because there's no dust jacket, so I don't even know what book it is. It's a book of a month. The Night Swim by Megan Golden. Wait, I might have this. I have no idea. I need to look this up, so this goes on the maybe pile so I can look it up. Usually the book of the month thrillers are actually pretty good. Another book of the month, this dust jacket survived our little mystery adventure. A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. I've heard a couple of things of that. Oh, that could be interesting. Also, this goes on the maybe pile, because I remember I've looked at it a couple of times and was kind of we'll see. The Perfect Marriage is the next book. His mistress is dead. His wife is his only hope. Oh, Jennifer Rose. That sounds like something I might be interested in. That actually sounds like really something I would want to keep here. Yep. I'll put it on the yes pile for now. The next one, The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison. Also one that perfectly survived. Like, it's looking really, really good here. And the cover actually is looking really, really good. And that looks also like something I would want to take a closer look at to say yes or no. It's not screaming my name right now. Alrighty, next hardcover that survived, including Dust Jacket. And it's looking pretty good. Well, you know, you have a little bit dirt here, but I mean, outside of that... It's looking pretty good. This is A Friend of the Devil by Stephen Lloyd, and I'm loving this cover. It looks really good. It says on the back, Friend of the Devil is a whip-sharp, fast-paced tribute to slashers, fiendishly delicious in every way, clever, funny, and blood-spattered. Very, very blood-spattered. That sounds like a... Is that a YA horror thing? Because it's teenagers and in school and the writing is pretty big. So this could be like a more YA thing. I'll put that on the no pile for now. I don't think that is for me. Oh, here's book 1. Alrighty. Well, I guess that has to go on the yes pile then. And then I might have to keep book 1 and 2 because otherwise that kind of, maybe they were meant to be kept together. I'm not sure. Because moving the book 2 forward would not make a whole lot of sense, right? Without book 1. I just love this feeling of this cover and the name of the book. Just, I have no idea what it is about, which is kind of always with me the thing. But I think this is more a horror novel versus a thriller. So I'm a scaredy cat. But this, I really like the vibe of this whole thing and I kind of want to read it. Plus I'm just realizing there's like the fly here and all over her. That goes on the yes pile. So I'm at 3 books right now. Next one, The Ritual by Adam Neville. Well, that is cover is definitely interesting. Ooh, Scandinavian Wilderness. Okay, that is my type of jam. Ooh, Pagan Sacrifice. Oh yeah, that sounds like something I would enjoy. That might be a yes. Uh-oh, that yes pile is getting bigger and bigger. We're at more than 9 books. They might have found more books than... You know what also would be interesting? If they found random other books from a random other box that, you know, traveled around, and I now have books from this other box. Next one is Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris, and this also looks familiar. I don't think you will stay with me. I'll put you on the no pile for now. I have to put some books on the no pile. I can't keep everything. Ooh, I've definitely seen that one. The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. Wasn't that like book of the month at Barnes & Nobles, and it was everywhere, and book club and whatnot, and I remember seeing that everywhere, and I remember like, oh, it sounds interesting, but not really mine, so that is definitely a sure no pile. The last book, oh, what? A Simple Favor by Darcy Bell. I love this movie. I love this movie. I think it is brilliant. This one also has seen better days. Oh man, am I keeping this? Dang it. Then I would have 5 books. That's a bit much, isn't it? Oh, this has to be on the maybe pile all the way on the top because I love the movie and I was sitting there and wondering if I should read the book. I knew it was based on a book. I'm not a fan of the cover though, I have to say. Like the cover is, I hate these movie cover book tie-ins. Poor little book, you went through so much to get here. All right, this goes on the maybe pile. So what I will do now is off camera so you don't get bored out of your mind is I'm going through the maybe books and we'll see if I want to keep any additional one of those. And then I will double check my yes books, make sure I really want to keep them. And then I need to find books to replace them with. What am I going to do? What am I going to keep? So the easiest decision was Patience of a Dead Man and book 2, Dead Woman Scorned, book 1 and 2. Does the series have a name? I have no idea. But those 2 I'll keep, definitely. So that is 1 and 2. And then I'll keep The Perfect Marriage by Jennifer Rose. There's with Defend Your Husband if he's accused for killing his mistress. This sounds just amazing. So I need to keep that. And then after long contemplation and a long back and forth, I'm keeping The Butterfly Garden because this whole concept of children being kidnapped and held in that butterfly garden with a little bit of, you know, really morbid stuff probably going on and horror going on. I'm interested in that. I want to hear it. And when I read the first page, it kind of already sucked me in and I wanted to continue reading. So I'm keeping this. And I decided against everything else, even though I know I had a couple books. Like I had one other book on the yes pile, but I just think that I'm too much of a scaredy cat to keep this. That means I have to put 4 books back in, and these are the 4 that I came up with. Number 1 is Finley, Donovan is Killing It, and I feel like this is going to be the softest book out of all of them, but it is considered a mystery. It's like a fun, humorous type of mystery. I loved reading this. Actually, Ian from Ian the Reader, who is part of that book box here, he picked that for me to read back in August, I think, and I really loved it. He read it too after he read the description when he picked it for me, and loved it the same way, and I hope someone else is going to enjoy it as much as Ian and I did. The next one is a Stephen Graham Jones book, and this is The Bird Is Gone. It technically is a thriller, horror, mystery book. I think it's a lot of other things. There are literary elements in there, and this is definitely one of the quirkiest books that I've read in my entire life. Like, the writing style is really interesting. And what is also interesting, without spoiling things, but the style of the book is different too. So you have regular written things, and then you have like weirdly like typewriter type font in there, and this story is the story is really interesting, and I probably didn't even understand half of it, what I was actually supposed to get out of that. And I know in this group we have a couple of Stephen Graham Jones friends, and I know this is one of the books that rarely anyone picks up because it's one of his, I think it's the 2nd or 3rd book that he ever wrote. And I hope there will be a Stephen Graham Jones lover in the rest of the crew that is going to enjoy this one. Then I wanted to put a book in here that I love, Scandinavian mysteries thriller, and this is one of them. This is The Bet by Jo Nesbø, which is book 1 in the Detective Harry Hole series. This one actually doesn't play in Scandinavia, it plays in Sydney, but it is about a Norwegian girl that disappeared in there, and I love this. Like, it's a typical detective story where he has a past, right, and you learn more about him as the story continues, and it's very typical in that regard, but I just love the atmosphere that these Scandinavian writers can build. So I hope someone will enjoy this first book in this series. And the last one, another big name, is I will part with Stephen King's Thinner. That I read together with Jake from The Bookish Drummer as part of our Richard Bachman read-along at the beginning of 2022. And while I love Richard Bachman books, this is, I think, my least favorite, and I've read it twice now, and I think that's it. I don't think I need to read it again. And then lastly, before I forget, I also want to add a 5th book, because we lost 3 books on the journey, right? So I wanted to add one more and slowly fill it up, so we're back at 15. Kind of put new books in there. And this book number 5 is Erza Zirgudadottir's The Last Ritual, which is book 1 in the Dora Gudmundsdottir series. Again, one of those Nordic-inspired thrillers, but I have to say, this is not a typical detective novel. This is really more thriller horror, so there are definitely some darker elements in here. I read multiple of her books, and she is one of my favorite thriller authors. So I hope this book finds a new fan, and maybe there are some others out there soon that will talk about Erza Zirgudadottir books. So book number 5. At the beginning, I mentioned it that not all the books that were put in the box by Kate arrived here. So I want to spend a minute in silence to mourn their loss. They gave their lives for our entertainment, and we will forever be grateful for that. Here are the books that didn't, unfortunately, make it anymore, and I hope they will have a good life in someone else's hand in the future. And with that, I'm actually not quite sure who is the next person, since we changed the round a little bit. Ursi was supposed to be on my spot, but because of the whole book exploding thing, she then traveled at the same time while the book box was supposed to get to her. So we just swapped. So I don't know if it goes to Ursi now or if it goes to Sharon. I'll see. You'll see. I'll put it down in the description box who the next person is. We probably have our usual playlist there, so just go through the playlist one by one if you want to follow the box in basically the actual order. And while you're down in the description box, I'll also put a link for the playlists for some other book boxes that we've done in the past that just have been so much fun. So you can check out some of the older videos that we've done. And then I hope you do not forget to subscribe to all of these amazing people that are part of this mystery thriller horror book box disaster. Soap opera, and that you find some great new booktroopers to enjoy the content from. And with that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the videos, and then I hope I'll see you soon. Bye!